So, a couple years ago, I ended up watching this really cool anime. And it's called Psalm 100. And the plot of it is essentially he's your average Japanese office worker. He's overworked. He's so overworked and he's drained out. His health is like literally falling apart. His apartment looks like a trash can because, well, he's not taking care of himself at all, and all that's ever on his mind is work. And he's constantly stressed about work, and there's workplace bullying, and just overall, like, work has completely consumed his life, and not in a good way. Like, he's literally just suffering and struggling, and like, there's one of the scenes actually shows him contemplating jumping in front of the train so he doesn't have to go to work. So that's how badly he needs to get out of work. Like, he just does not want to go to work. It's making him miserable. It's he All he does is he works, and then he comes back home, he stares at a TV while eating whatever cup noodles, and then he goes to sleep if he can, and then he wakes up and does the same thing over and over and over again. And it's a miserable place because he started off as someone who had a lot of hope, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the best and work and whatever whatnot. And obviously that's like, I mean, that's not how it kind of panned out, I guess. And then one day, after all of this, like, feeling dread over having to go to work and not liking to go to work and having to go to work, he one fine day, there's a zombie apocalypse. And yeah, like, it's just that sudden. There's just a zombie apocalypse, and people around him are getting eaten by zombies. People are being turned into zombies. Like, hell is breaking loose, essentially. Okay, that's literally all that needs to be known in this context. And, like, his reaction, his first reaction is, shit, that means I don't gotta go to work. That's his reaction. All hell is breaking loose, and chances are he's gonna die. Like, there's a zombie apocalypse. Everyone around you is being turned into a zombie. At some point, they'll get to you, right? And he's gonna be turned into a zombie too, probably. But his main focus and his only concern is the fact that he doesn't have to go to work. That the life he was so chained to, and he did not know how to escape, no matter how bad it got. Like, it was horrible. It was draining him. He wants to like exit. Okay, like, that's how bad it is. But he just didn't know how to quit it. He didn't know how to not be in the position that he was in. And finally, there was this one thing that was essentially going to allow him to exit the life that he's been so shackled to. So that's just, his entire reaction is just like, it seems ridiculous because you're thinking, like, these people are dying, you're probably gonna be next to him. They're showing, like, his neighbors are like getting eaten, and like, people downstairs, like his apartment, or like, it's chaos. Like, he even goes to confront his boss the next day, and like, he is turned into a zombie and whatever. But this man doesn't care. This man's just happy he doesn't have to go to work. And then he ends up meeting one of his friends who he ended up breaking off with because of work. So, like, work is just that consuming in his life. And they decide to, like, meet up and make a bucket list of things they want to do before they get turned into zombies. And like, that's like literally the entire plot of the anime. Like, that is literally the entire plot of the anime. Um, Frustrated office worker gets put into zombie apocalypse and finally finds life and freedom. And the funny thing is, when he says, like, oh my freaking god, like, I don't have to go to work the next day, that's what he was happy about. And like, I realize that I feel like most of us living the lives that we live feel that way too. It's like, oh my god, like, if a meteor hit Earth today, like, I would not complain, because that means I would be done, like something would have pushed me out of the mundane of, or the problems, or like the repetitive cycles that we're constantly shackled and stuck in. And we either don't have the strength, we don't have the situation, or whatever it is, we're unable to break free. And it just made me think, like, this is just how people are living. Because when I saw it, like, I could relate to that. Like, I was like, oh hell yeah, like if a meteor hit today, bro, like I don't find myself, like, I don't see myself being like, oh no, like, I, you know, yeah, sure, like there's better stuff I can do, can make the world, like, I don't know, there's stuff I could contribute to the world, but like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I would see myself complaining. And I'm sure, like, there's people are in situations all over the world right now with situation, like, that's not, we're not discounting or ignoring that, but like it's something needs to be said about the condition of human beings in the modern world, living through cycles over and over again of the same shit that they don't want to be living through, to the point that in anime about some average Japanese office worker getting stuck in a zombie apocalypse and finally making a bucket list of things he wants to do and gets them checked off, and like most of the things are not even like, they are not outrageous, they're not like, oh my god, like I want to buy like $1 million mansion and destroy it, like that's not what he's aiming to do. He has, like, I think one of them is like raid of like a supermarket or something like that, like he just wants to buy everything he wants, or like they're small wants and like and needs on that bucket list. They're not outrageous, there's nothing crazy, not that I remember, at least it's been a couple of years, but you know, like, it's just, and I feel like most of us do feel like that, like we, unless we're actually pushed to the brink, and you know, like that's how a lot of people, when they end up finding out that they have chronic illnesses, or you know, something happens and they realize that their time is either limited, or that like all these constraints and all these chains and shackles that we've made up for ourselves are actually all imaginary, and maybe not imaginary, but they're not necessarily things that we can't escape out of. Like they actually start doing things that they've always wanted to do, you know, like, oh, like I like someone saying that they have cancer, and then so they decided to, I don't know, like run a marathon or get the tattoo they wanted to get, like stuff like that. And like, I don't know why we feel the need to have something like that happen to us in order to, you know, like break the mold that we're in, or to do the small things that we can, you know, they're pretty accessible. Like, why do we feel so stuck in our situations that we can't even give ourselves the smallest wish off our list? But yeah, that's kind of what that anime made me think, and that's why I think everyone should watch Psalm 100.